Thursday morning, 1st of December. Little trick I've got to try, making a hole in your brush and adding just a little hot water into the hole to increase hydration. And I'm not very good. I've never really given a damn about soaps and lather, to be honest. Some are better than others, obviously, but really it's not my field. I'm more into steel and edges, but this seems to work quite well actually. So there's a little tip courtesy of Matty Lindholm, which is make an hole. And you've derived some lather. This is the Sheller again, which I think Sheller's extremely nice. I don't know, there's some sort of quality about almond oil, and yeah, I always find afterwards there's no irritation. So obviously Seller have got something right. It's not an expensive soap. I'm only an experimenter when it comes to soaps and lathers, so don't take any notice of me. But as far as the idea of hydrating your lather with an oil in the middle seems to be quite clever. I thought today I'd break out my Palmera 14, but Palmera 14, this particular model, was my favourite razor. I say was because for some mysterious reason it went off the boil, and when I looked under a microscope there seemed to be a little tiny bit of chipping, but I don't know. Anyway, a long while back now I rehoned it. Haven't used it for a long while. I've been using the Phillies. So let's see how it performs. Say a Palmera 14, exactly the same period as a Philharmonica. Very high quality. This particular one, as you can see, is a late one, but it's absolutely mint. It's got the Palmera, if I can find where it is. It's got the Palmera logo, there you go, on the tang. Sometimes they're stamped in the early ones. This is again stamped, but it's longhand rather than a little cartouche with the usual palm tree and a little guy climbing up a pyramid. Anyway, let's see how it goes. Oh yeah, still very, very, very smooth. Yep, that'll do nicely. This is a good 3 days worth of stubble. Being a extra full hollow blade, they're rather easier to tell how they're cutting. If there's any sign of stalling, with an extra hollow you very soon find out. When I say stalling, I mean stalling and grabbing, obviously. Oh no. Oh, it's such a comfort. It's so nice to go back to a blade, or go back to the edge, and to find that it's still perfect. And you can see the amount of crud which is evident. It is cutting very, very well. More to the point, you can tell it's not going to drag. It's not going to give you any abrasion or irritation. Let's try the other side. Oh, can you hear that cut? Absolutely effortless. I won't lie and say it's only the weight of the razor, but it's very little more, considering there's some pretty heavy stubble there. I was very surprised to find that as you get older, stubble loses its colour, you get a lot more silver in it. But, if anything, it gets stronger. The lovely virile dark stubble transforms itself into First World War barbed wire. Oh, look at that. Why anybody would ever consider shaving with anything other than a straight razor is now quite beyond me. They're painless, they're effortless. Yes, you've got to learn how. Anything that's worth doing, like driving your car or whatever, it's got to be taught. But once you've gone past your first, 50 straight shaves, it then becomes very, 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 very easy. And more to the point, incredibly enjoyable. Then you can get into the finer points, if you really must, like the bergamot and ambergris smell of your lather. Lovely. However, as I say, each to their own. It's a broad church. I'm just into what the damn thing feels like when it's cutting my stubble. And for me, anything else is very secondary. Against the grain. Look at that. Yeah, this is still an exceptional razor. I would say, yeah. Still in the top 3 or 4 of the blades I've ever tried. Can't say I'm really in the mood to go for a super elaborate all direction shave today. I just want the lovely comfort and feel of an incredibly smooth shave, which this has been. So just a 2-passer. I'm not going to go for a BBS. I'm not going to go for too much of the incredibly clever stuff. I can go cross moustache, big deal. Personally, I find just dragging it down, thus, does the intended job. The famous upward cut can be done, but so what? Talking about shaving, we're not talking about performing art. Though perhaps we are, I don't know. Chin area is always interesting. Seems to have the most resistance for me. The hairs there always say, don't matter what angle you try and mate, we're going to resist you. So whether you're going against the grain, with the grain, across the grain, upside down the grain, you're always going to take several swipes to get a BBS. I think for me, that's probably enough. I mean, what can you do? There's still lots of residual slickness, which is very comforting. Always a good idea to feel the old fingers exactly the areas you've missed. I always have lots of areas I've missed. But in so saying, doesn't really matter. Mapping your face to find exactly the angles to attack the bristles at is obviously pretty important. At the same time though, if your edge is good enough, in this case absolutely incredibly good enough, then your results are going to be good. A lot of resistance on that stroke. You know, I've already gone over this area. Hey, listen. It still sounds like someone in a jungle cutting down bamboo. But then, this is a 8/8 extra hollow blade, and it doth protest loudly. And in this winter light, I can't honestly say I've got, perhaps I need to wear glasses when I'm shaving. Can't truly say I can see every detail of what I'm doing. I do find the angle of your pass, although normally should be, you know, flat and low as we all hear, at the same time it's not always the case. I find that some angles you need to be relatively obtuse and others very low. The general rule is for neck, from what I've picked up, should be low, like this. I'm not even looking at what I'm doing. In the end you get to feel what you're doing. If it feels right, it is right. Anyway, I think that's probably enough. You have heard enough of me. So, thank you, Matty. There's the hole in the brush method. Put your little hole in, put some hot water in there, and you get a much more hydrated foamy lava. Not that I know, but anyway. So, thanks guys. Hope you enjoyed this little chat, little simple shave. Palmera 14, extra hollow, beautiful tool. See you soon.